Okay. So you guys remember I talked about how the human nervous system is the world's most powerful question answering mechanism on the planet. It must pathologically seek to answer any question that you put to it, regardless of how bizarre the question is. You guys remember when I said that? Okay. So when we give affirmations, we usually deliver them in the form of statements, right? We usually say, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. It's a very classic affirmation, goes back hundreds of years. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. That's a statement. Maybe instead of making it a statement, we'll make it an exclamation. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better, right? But it's still a statement. It's a yang energy. I'm imposing something rather than drawing something out. So you remember the example I gave the other day when you have people who say, why is this always happening to me? And this little voice down there goes, oh, he wants a list, right? Well, what if we take that mechanism and we use it to build ourselves up instead of tearing ourselves down? Instead of coming up with reasons for why we're a failure or why we deserve to have all the crappy shit in our life, what if we were to use that mechanism to come up with reasons why we deserve it? And so you flip the script, and instead of making a statement, you ask a good question. The question might be as simple as, why do I really deserve to be rich and happy? Ask yourself that question and notice what happens. Why do I deserve to be rich and happy? Why do I deserve to have the ideal me? Why do I really deserve love? What happens to your brain when you ask those questions? One of two things is going to happen. A, it's going to tell you actually why you deserve it. It's going to give you a reason. Or it's going to say, you don't. Either way, you've got a direction. Because something comes up that says you don't, point to where you feel it and fix it. Right? If it gives you a reason, build on it. Go back and do it again. Why do I really deserve love? You may get a different answer. You may get the same answer. But in this case, by asking a properly formed question, we create a space for the unconscious mind to fill. And this is one of the big pieces I want you to take away from understanding your mind. And that is this. What the unconscious mind generates, the unconscious mind accepts. And so when you ask a question like, why do I really deserve to be wealthy? Unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. Because your unconscious mind gave you the information, the unconscious mind will work to make it true. If it gives you an answer that you don't deserve to be, well, now you've uncovered yet another limiting belief that you can go unpack and unpack. So it gives you power either way. And the more you ask yourself these questions, the more your brain will generate rationales for why you should get what you want. I call them yinformations as opposed to affirmation. Because you're asking the question and letting that deeper part of you answer it. Does that make sense? So here's what I'd like you to do right now. Based on the things we talked about throughout the beginning class, the things you want to manifest in your life, write down 3 yinformations that you can use. Remember, they're in the form of a question. And your questions should presuppose the results you want. Okay? We'll talk more about that at CPI and Killer Influence. Take like 5 or 6 minutes, write them down. I'm going to come around and I'm just going to ask each of you to read one. I'll pick some of you at random and I'll have you read them just to make sure that we all got this properly. Okay, and then we're going to take this idea and we're going to take it even further, and we're going to look at how we can use logical levels to mine for positive beliefs and negative beliefs at different levels. Okay.
David,
Yes.
could you repeat again what we need to write down and how many? Sorry, I was typing the stuff you were saying because you're so good.
Right.
That I was like, oh crap, I missed what I'm supposed to do.
There's a reason there's a video. Okay. So someone's got their volume out. I want to mute you. Okay. So you're going to write down 3 informations based on the things you want to manifest. If it's love, write about love. If it's wealth or success, write about wealth or success. I don't care. They're your topics, but write them in the form of a question. Why do I deserve X? When, why do I really deserve to have X, Y, Z? Where did I really get the skills to earn the money I want to earn? Again, I'm just throwing examples out there. You're going to find, though, and as I explore this process with myself, I'm discovering that a lot of these questions are deservingness questions. Right? You may notice that. Right? Not just partially because I gave you the example, but in my life, I see a lot of the things is really about deservingness. Right?
David, can I ask a quick question? So what are some forms again? There's like what, where, when, why type questions that you can.
How am I going about making the things I want a reality?
Okay.
What do I really like about having more money?
Okay.
Right.
How soon will I?
Yeah. Well, again, they're only lies until they're true. Right. But you're really not lying. You're asking your unconscious mind to give you the reasons it'll accept for getting what you want. Does that make sense? I find this to be a much more enticing and useful way to do affirmations. And you're talking to a guy who would, when he was doing door-to-door sales, would literally sit in his car for hours writing affirmations to get enough guts to get out of the car and start knocking on doors. Okay. By the way, either of these processes, whether you're doing regular affirmations or yin-formations, presuppose good state control, not the old-fashioned way. Bruce, you had a question?
Yeah. So if the response you get from the subconscious is kind of like subjective or really not based on logic, is that okay? Like, for instance, why do I deserve abundant wealth? I mean, could it be like because I'm great or
Yeah.
I'm a stupid guy?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make logical sense, in other words.
No.
The answer. Okay.
No, human beings aren't logical.
Okay.
Remember, this is an important thing. Irrational problems require irrational solutions.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay? Irrational problems require irrational solutions. Right? They don't have to be logical. The answers to these questions will reveal more about your inner nature than the other. Because until
so the theory is it's like downloading, what is that word you use? Like a big blob of information.
Zip file? Talking about zip file?
Well, not a zip file. There's another word for it in psychology. I'm
Gestalt?
Yeah. Is that what this is?
I guess it could be. I don't overthink it.
Okay.
Remember,
Gotcha.
if you ask the information and an answer comes up that is validating, regardless of whether you consciously agree with it or not, doesn't matter. Your unconscious mind gave it to you.
Gotcha.
Work with it.
Thank you.
It's true at some level. By the way, I did not develop this technique. I first actually came across, well, actually, I don't remember if I came up with it on my own first and then I heard it, or I heard it and then it made so much sense to me I just kept using it. But the first time I ever consciously remember hearing this technique coming from somewhere other than myself was a webinar I was on with Rabbi Harlan Kilstein, and he was talking about it. And when he said it, I was like, I know that. And then I think I saw TJ teaching it a couple years back at a training, which I was interested. He's like, great minds think alike. So,
David,
yes.
if you have a certain subject, like say, for example, your business,
Mm-hmm.
and you say to yourself, why do I deserve to have a successful business?
Mm-hmm.
Can you also then write different variations on it? Like you said, what am I doing to have a different successful business?
Yeah.
Would you write different affirmations to try to get different aspects of an answer, or would you just do it one, get an answer, then maybe write another affirmation from a different?
In your context, what am I doing to build a successful business? I would write it. I would ask the question 10 times and notice how many different answers come up.
Okay.
And that will give you, that actually probably give you a really good set of positive feedback as to the things you're actively doing to build that business. And what you may also start to realize as you examine that list, notice what's missing. What are you not doing that you should maybe be doing, that should have been on that list? See how many different ways we can look at this information? Right? Now, here's another thing I want to caution a lot of you on, and if you've been in Planet David for any length of time, you've heard me say this. The fastest way to learn none of this is to try to learn all of it. So here's the deal. I'm giving you the sample, the buffet of what there is. Find the things that resonate most powerfully with you, that come easiest to you, and overlearn those first. When they start bearing fruit and you can do them in your sleep, come back, add another piece from the dessert tray or the entrees, and work that into your personal system of attraction and manifestation. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to go to Brady Bunch mode. And go ahead and share let's start with Mr. Zebel up here in the corner. Go ahead and read me one of your amazing affirmations.
What will I be grateful for today?
What will I be grateful for today? Perfect. Gratitude's powerful. When it comes to manifestation, gratitude is one of the most powerful frequencies you can tap into. The more grateful you are, the more you tend to attract. Carrie, talk to me.
How do I deserve high-paying, motivated clients?
Okay. And did you get a cool answer?
Well, I got bits and pieces. I'm working on it.
Okay, write those down. And I would write them in the form of a mind map. Okay, John.
Why do I deserve to find love and a relationship?
And what was your answer the unconscious mind gave you?
The unconscious mind gave me because I'm a brilliant person.
There you go. Truth. Engage in a little constructive narcissism. It's good for you.
That just came straight in my head. You know?
Isn't it amazing? You ask the question, poof, you get the answer. Go ahead, Noda.
Why do I want a six-figure business? The answer was, it is important for my self-esteem.
Excellent. 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 No judgment, because that's what's important. This is what I mean. You see, what happens a lot of times when we ask questions like this, and we get that answer from the unconscious mind, it clashes with what society says we should want. And that's the problem. It's okay to want things for superficial reasons. You know, some people might, and I'm not, avoid this as a suggestion, Noda, But some people might take note as an answer to say, oh, you're just ego-driven. You just want money to feel good about yourself. Who the fuck cares? Not your life. Right? But society says that's a politically incorrect thought. You should want to build a business so you can help people. Well, if I'm helping people and I feel shitty about myself, what good is my life? That's most religions, by the way. What you want doesn't matter. Give to the poor. Be altruistic. Anyway. Let's go to Rob.
It started off, what do I need to evolve? And then it became, how do I need to evolve?
Uh-huh. Now try this one. How am I currently evolving in the way that's useful for me?
By being here.
Yeah. Now here's where it gets really cool. Notice the difference. Take your affirmations right now. Notice the difference when you think it in your head versus when you speak it out loud. Take a moment and just speak it out loud and notice what happens. What'd you guys notice?
It's more intense.
Uh-huh. John? You can see
I noticed I noticed that I could, as I asked the question, I spoke it back to myself. It was sort of like verbalized it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it was really quick. It was quicker than the other one.
That's the externalization filter at work. Anybody else have an interesting experience? All right. Gary, talk to me. Give me one of your affirmations.
So, me? Okay.
Gary, yes. You are Gary.
I am Gary.
I am Gary. Hear me roar.
Right. Cool. Okay, so I was like, why do I deserve to be wealthy? And it was because the first thing came out was because it will allow me to, or it will empower me to get out and contribute to the world by taking what I've overcome and helping others to overcome by using the process that took me to success for myself. And then, well, what's the reason for that? It's because, well, that'll make me feel better about myself.
Okay. Cool. Now, for any of these answers, by the way, you can actually go immediately deep dive and ask what's important about that.
Yep.
Right? See how this it all kind of spirals? Charlie. You got to unmute, brother. Uh-oh. Everybody's frozen.
Was that to fulfill my golden path? I'm sorry, say again? Can you hear me?
You were frozen for like 30 seconds, so repeat what you said.
Sorry. My lips are moving. Anyway, what do I like about having money and the love of my life? My response was to fulfill my golden path, which is to be a playful traveler.
Okay. What's important about being a playful traveler?
Seeing the world.
James, do you see his spirit? Do you see the Shen come out of his eyes? You see it? He Shened in. Right? That's the moment we're looking for.
You missed it.
Watch the video. That's why we have it. Ian.
Okay. I asked, why am I so good at playing lead licks on my ukulele?
Mm-hmm.
And my answer was because I practice every day.
Very good. Excellent. Diana.
Hi.
Hi.
I got one here. How am I evolving in a way that will make happiness a reality for me?
And what did your unconscious?
And I guess taking the step of stepping out of my zone of comfort, I guess.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How did you feel when that came up?
Actually, it gives me shivers just again saying it out loud is a ticket.
Very good.
Yeah,
That's
thank
what
you.
we want. We want those visceral shivers, those moments of, right? That's how we know we're on the right path. Joseph.
Let me unmute myself. Here we are. So I started with, why am I destined to be a great author?
Yep.
And when that first came up, I got a no. So I found the location and I spun it. And as I was spinning in the opposite direction, I got the answer, because it's fun.
There you go. Is it okay to have fun being great?
Mm-hmm.
Some people say that's such a superficial reason for wanting to be a great. Fuck you.
Well, here's something interesting, David. So I said, okay, it's fun. Well, why is that important? I got the answer, because it's the meaning of life. And I asked myself, well, why is that important? I got the answer, because that's what God wants you to do.
Nice.
So that's quite a change.
Excellent. And how did you feel when those words came up?
Positive, much more positive.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Dennis.
Why do I deserve a soulmate? Because I am a lovable, kind, gentle, wonderful man.
Oh, and it even helps that it's true, right?
Yep.
And how did and when those words came up and you heard them coming from within, how did you feel?
I felt great with it.
Excellent.
And as you say, when you speak them, it actually reinforces the actual thing itself.
By the way, and again, this is just just off the top of my head. You've all done other types of affirmations before. In terms of the effect it has on you, how are they different?
This one actually seems to work.
This one actually seems to work.
Body. The others were absolute crap.
No resistance to it. It's very deep.
Remember, human beings don't resist themselves.
Yeah.
What your neurology generates, your neurology accepts.
I find it gives you a deeper level of not only finding some answer that might lead to resistance that you weren't aware you have, rather than just blindly saying something, and maybe you feel a little twinge, or maybe you don't. But here, you get an immediate feedback from the unconscious that allows you to dig deeper into this.
Here's your real reason why. Right? Because isn't that what we're always looking for? Why? There's your real reason why. And it doesn't have to match what society says you should want it. It doesn't have to match what your family says why you should want it or shouldn't want it. It's not about them. It's about you. It's always about you. Because until you satisfy you, you're no good to anyone else. Okay? And when you are good to other people, you will never feel satisfied. You'll never get what you want back. Okay? Couple more and then we'll move on to other stuff. I hope this will stick with you though. Elizabeth 2, where are you? Is there an Elizabeth 1?
Hey.
There she is. Okay, she's logged in twice. Must be her evil twin Skippy. Are you in a pool?
No. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, really.
Okay, Guada 2. Here we go. Okay. All right, anyway, moving on.
Oh, you went away. I actually can't see you
Elizabeth one is her dad, because my computer failed.
Okay.
Can you still see me?
No, I can't see you. Your camera's off, Elizabeth.
No. It just froze.
I don't know. There's a big black sign that says Elizabeth on it, and that's all I see. All right, we'll come back to you, Elizabeth. Oh, there she is. Yes. So did you do this?
Hey.
Did you do this? The
Yeah.
exercise? Okay. Give me your affirmation.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my note.
How do you write underwater?
Say that again?
How do you write underwater? Well, you know, if
With
you wouldn't go in the
the-
pool, your cell phone wouldn't get wet and you'd be able to hear me.
I can hear you. Thank you. Okay. So why do I deserve a really nice big house surrounded by nature that's mine?
And what did your unconscious mind say?
Because I need it for spiritual work.
Okay. And what's important about spiritual work?
It is my life path.
There you go. Right. And what happened when you said it out loud?
It's really nice. I really love it loud.
Isn't that what an affirmation is supposed to do?
Yes, it is.
Exactly. Perfect. Excellent. Guada.
I'm excited with mine because my goodness, my heart is like pumping so hard right now. It took me a while. Your timing is impeccable, by the way, David. So I put it a lot together because, you know, I like it that way. Okay.
I heard that about you.
Why do I truly deserve to fully enjoy? Okay. Dude, stop distracting me. Okay, so why do I truly deserve to fully enjoy a ridiculously comfortable life and ecstatically fun and wild adventure experiences and an abundance of successfully fulfilling love and relationship?
And what was your answer?
Because I'm continually cultivating and forging connections that matter to me.
Oh, and when you said that and when you heard that, what happened in your body?
Oh my God.
You gonna need a cold shower after this class or what? Excellent. Albert, talk to me.
Why do I deserve a six-figure hypnotherapy business?
And what was your answer?
Because there's a lot of people that need my services and help out there.
Excellent. And when you said that to yourself, what happened?
It made it more sense rather than me feeling as greedy. Less greedy. I felt less greedy when I said that.
This goes back to one of the most important aspects that are neglected. In all magical practices, the power of the logos, the word. Speak your truth. Speak your spells. Don't keep them inside. Declare what's inside and to the outside. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alley Cat.
All right. What is the limit of pleasurable experiences that I can be grateful to give and receive?
And what was your answer?
There is none.
There is no limit? Ah. And how did that feel?
Really good.
Really good. Excellent. Sam. Yeah, you got to unmute yourself, Samuel.
All right, how about now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, what am I doing to be a great guitarist?
And?
The answer, of course, was none. Nothing.
And did you feel good about that?
Well, it was an honest answer. I know that I'm not even putting a tenth of the effort that I'm supposed to be putting into it.
Okay, so let's explore this a little bit. Are you a good guitarist?
No.
Okay. So maybe we need to ask a different question.
Well,
what do I need to do to want to become a great guitarist enough to the point where I'll actually start practicing?
Yeah, that's kind of the direction I was getting ready to go in.
Remember, sometimes the answers you get will surprise you, right? Sometimes they'll disappoint you. Either way, and sometimes they'll just light you up like a Christmas tree, like the vast majority of you are getting, and that's okay. Either way, it gives you something to do next. You understand? If what comes up isn't positive, you know where to go. You know where to fit. You know what to fix. You understand? So if it's not immediately an amplifying process, it's diagnostic, right? And you have tools now to go after it. Okay, Sherry Ann.
Hello there. Hi. Where's 101? Why am I destined to be a life coach?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I asked myself that, I just got things because I just want to help people.
Okay.
And
So why am I destined to be a life coach? Because I just want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just want to help people be happier. So.
And when you said that, what happened?
I just. I don't. I guess. Stale. I just don't. Actually, doesn't like feel true. Something.
Exactly. I knew it wasn't true the minute you said it.
And so is that where I point to something and fix it?
So try this one. Why do
Okay.
I really want to help people?
Why do I really want to help people? That one I felt good, positive. I really want to help people.
Try this one. Try this one. How is helping people really about helping myself?
How is helping people really about helping myself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It makes everything better. It makes everything happier. It makes my environment, my world better, and it makes me feel good.
And when you say those things to yourself and you have that realization, how does that feel?
It feels good. It feels, now I feel like I'm lighter, like I want to accomplish something.
Many of us, because of social conditioning, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily you, but many of us, because of social conditioning, don't think it's okay to help ourselves. So we hide behind the mask of helping others because that's socially acceptable. It's a rationalization. It's not necessarily wrong. In other words, there's always a component of helping people somewhere in the mix. But at the end of the day, we're all about helping ourselves. And that's why many times when you say things about helping others, it doesn't ring quite true. Because we've been conditioned to think it's wrong to be selfish. That's why over half the people who come to my hypnotherapy class to become healers, I know you're not fucking there for other people. Half of them are lying, the other half are honest. Which is why we spend so much time in those classes doing the hands-on. Because I know you're not really there for other people yet. You're there for you, to get your shit handled. And I'm here to tell you something that's maybe you've never heard before. That's okay. It's okay to do that. Many of the traditions and the organizations that we've come to call religious have brainwashed you for their own agenda to give and take and disempower yourself under the guise of helping others. But you're no good to the world broke. You're no good to the world unhappy. You're no good to the world being disempowered. But when you have a life that's worth living, that inspires you and motivates you and fills you with abundance, how easy is it to share that without feeling depleted or taken from or taken advantage from? That's sharing. Share, don't give. Okay? There's an old Buddhist saying that I've corrupted. The Buddhists used to say, live half for yourselves, or half for others and half for yourself. I corrupted it. And I say, live half for yourself first and then everybody else. But then I would take it even further. Only help the people who demonstrate they deserve the help.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of people who will take your help who don't deserve it. And if you give them the help they don't deserve, you're hurting them. You're hurting them. Yes.
So what happens when you're intentionally wanting to help the person because you see something within them, however, it feels that they're rejecting it? Because
And they're not ready for the help you want to give them. And so the best help you can give them is no help. You heard me say this, Guada, in every hypnotherapy class since the dawn of time. Most people do not change until, Chorus?
They have suffered enough.
Thank you, Chorus. What is, by the way, there's this word we kept throwing around called discomfort. Is there another word that kind of describes extreme discomfort? Suffering.
That
pain.
Yeah. They have to go through that pain until they reach a point where they say, I will not tolerate one more fucking day of this, and I will do whatever it takes to get something different. Each of us has a different threshold of discomfort that we're willing to accept. Those of us who recognize it early on know what to do, but a lot of us are a little bit more stubborn. Right? Somebody had a question, I saw it. No?
Thank you, David.
You're welcome. Debbie, talk to me.
Okay. All right. First of all, I really, really love this exercise. I came up with a bunch of other questions.
Mm-hmm.
What actions do I need to take? What do I need to learn? How is helping other people really about helping myself? I love that one. So my answer is, well, my question is, what do I deserve? And my answer is, I deserve to be rich, successful, happy, and joyful because it will inspire others to achieve their wildest desires and dreams. I will give more to the world, shining my bright golden light onto others than standing in the shadows, whining as a victim.
Ooh, and what happened when you got those words?
Woohoo!
Here's a great affirmation that came up, just off the top of my head for all of you. Why is getting David into David's Platinum program going to give me everything I want most in life? Try to argue with the logic behind that and notice what happens instead.
All about me again.
Brian, give me one of your informations.
Well, mine is, why do I always make decisions quickly and correctly? And the answer I got back is because my subconscious mind does it automatically for me and spits out the right answer, so I don't have to think about it or rethink it.
Yay! And how did you feel when you got that answer?
I felt really good.
Isn't that cool?
It is.
All right. All right, I have a page 2 here, apparently. George. We're going to take a break after this, so don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have to apologize that yesterday and today, it seems like when you start doing the exercises, I've been going either in trance or falling asleep. So sometimes normal. I have to sort of, when we did the breakout groups, I had to sort of wait for a second so I can see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at my list, and the first thought that came to my mind was not anything on my list, but it was that the universe would provide me what I need exactly when I needed it. And then the answer I got was, well, what about what you want?
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So there was a list you thought you had, and then there was the other list.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And when you got that answer, how did it make you feel?
That, you know, maybe I deserve more than what I necessarily need, and to start focusing on what I actually want.
Amen, brother, because that's the difference between surviving and living. Right? Excellent. Well
Yeah.
done. Lady Victoria of Comfort.
Mine was, why do I deserve to travel the world? And the answer was because you gain experience, knowledge, and perspective not available in your hometown.
And when those words came up, how did you feel?
It makes it more, kind of brings it from outside inside.
Yes.
So it makes it possible rather than just like a fleeting dream or thought.
Here's one you can add to that. You might want to try it. How am I making traveling the world immediately possible now?
Oh.
Something to play with.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Holly, Lady Holly of Bigelow. Or is it Yeoman Holly?
Well, I keep getting kicked out, so I'm not changing my name today. Let's see. I have two questions that are kind of two halves of the same one, but why do I deserve to be a multi-billionaire? And why am I going to be a multi-billionaire?
Okay, and what was the answer?
I've got lots of them. I'll pick one. Because I'm really, really good with money, and because I will use it for maximum efficiency and for good, and money likes to be powerful and to be used for good, so it will come to me because it wants to be magnified.
Excellent. Very cool. And how did you feel when you said those cool words to yourself?
Really good.
Yeah, it's all about feeling really good, right? Because if you're not feeling really good, what the fuck's the point?
Amen.
Let me jump to the entire room just shuffled, so now I got to figure out who I haven't talked to yet. Pank, let me pick on you real quick.
Why do I deserve to find peace and forgiveness with my brother?
And what happened?
Ooh.
Because I can move forward with my life.
And how did that feel?
Okay. I think I can't really think of something more because I really don't like the guy.
Uh-huh.
It's been an ongoing thing for many years.
Uh-huh.
It's an energy I carry with me, and I've worked on this a lot with many people.
Mm-hmm.
So
here's a better question, or a different question. Let's see if this helps you. Is it really important for me to forgive my brother or like my brother?
I'm not sure about the answer to that as I'm saying it to myself.
What was the first impression? What was the first thing that came up?
Yes.
Okay. And if I were to be able to forgive my brother in a way that made me feel good about it, what would that entail?
Killing him? No, what would that entail?
Okay. So the presupposition is, hold on a minute. There's nothing wrong with what you said. But let me kind of help you with this a little bit. Your brother, in your mind, in order for you to be able to forgive him, must pay for and atone for his sins.
Yeah, that's what I have. I figured out that it's not working though.
No.
I've tried to make him atone, and he's not able to atone.
You don't need him to atone in reality, in the physical world. You need him to atone in the avatar you've made of him in your mind.
Oh, that's good. I haven't really thought of that before.
That's why I get paid the big bucks. But you've heard me say, and I don't know how long you've been, absorbing our materials, but I've made a very controversial statement from time to time that forgiveness is not necessary to move forward.
You said it's it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Well, that's also true. But that's not what I'm getting at. Human beings cannot get to forgiveness until they've achieved justice. Justice as far as the human organism is concerned, is more important than forgiveness. That justice must be either literal, that justice can be either literal or metaphorical. It can be objective or subjective. The neurology doesn't care. And so when you get a chance to work with like TJ or Paul or Seth, there's a process where we call in the karma police. And the karma police literally analyze all the sins that those people have perpetrated on you, and they deliver that karma back to those people in the most karmically appropriate way imaginable. And you're actually allowed to enjoy watching it happen. Okay? Sounds weird when we talk about it from the conscious mind's perspective, but when you actually experience it in the hypnotic processes, it's dramatically therapeutic. Okay? Remember that forgiveness is not necessary to get healthier, to move forward. What is necessary is justice, payback.
David, I've had a personal experience with that. It might be helpful. I had some really bad things that happened to me when I was 6 years old. And it didn't really come back and hit me until I was in my 40s. And all of a sudden I had like this real anger towards the persons or people that abused me. And I started going through like just imagining all kinds of violence toward them, things like that. And at the end of the day, you know, I talked to my stepdad, who's done a lot of stuff similar to you. He said the exact same thing about the metaphor and stuff like that. So I allowed myself to go through that and experience vengeance and stuff. And I tell you, it really healed a lot of the pain that I was having. And just by going through that and allowing myself to experience those feelings.
Even you know, just to for those of you who are more spiritually oriented, even Louise Hay, one of the most spiritual writers in history, if you read her book, Heal Your Body and Heal Your Life, there's a chapter in there on having your clients beat the living daylights out of the people who've harmed them as a road to forgiveness. Okay? This is a valid, true therapeutic technique. And the way we deliver it in Identity by Design and in regression allows the person to watch the universe delivering that justice on their behalf rather than them having to do it themselves. Unless they really want to, right? You give me the choice. But you got to understand that there's a lot of horse shit that's never been tested that is rampant in the therapy fields. But this belief that we absolutely must forgive before we can move on, not the whole truth. Not the whole truth. There's many times forgiveness is one of the most healing processes out there, but there are others, and there is a pecking order to it. Go ahead, Joseph.
Also, I find this interesting. I got this from a friend of mine who's a sister of mercy, so pretty spiritual lady. And she makes the distinction that forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing.
That's true too. That is true.
So you can reach a point of forgiving somebody without necessarily reconciling them, because that's on them also.
Yeah. In our classical hypnosis training, when we're going through therapeutic forgiveness processes, Jerry Kine made some really good distinctions about this idea of forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean that what they did was okay. It doesn't mean that you like the person, even though it may be someone you claim to love. It doesn't mean you will ever allow that shit to happen again. Right? What it does mean is that you've reached an understanding. And that understanding is that the people who've sinned against us, who've perpetrated against us, were really no more than the equivalent of automatons running the program that, based on a level of knowledge and understanding and situational awareness and context, they couldn't have done anything different. And when these people sin against us and we hold on to that anger and that rage and that resentment, first of all, it doesn't mean that your anger and resentment isn't righteous. But it's like picking up a piece of wood or a piece of metal on the side of the road. And as you pick it up, a splinter gets lodged in your finger or your hand from that piece of wood or that piece of metal. And maybe we throw the wood away, or we kick the metal to the side of the road. And we think that that wood or that metal is gone. But if we never go back and we pull out the splinter, no matter where we go and no matter what we do, that metal or that wood keeps control of us. It continues to affect and influence us. And like any splinter left ignored or untended, infections set in. It begins to fester. It begins to make every part of us sick because we never went back and pulled out the splinter. Forgiveness is a lot like pulling out the splinter. It gives yourself a chance to heal, not for the sake of the other person, because you threw them away a long time ago, but because you're not going to let that influence you anymore. You're not going to allow it to exert that level of control over your life. And you can heal. And you're free. Okay? Forgiveness is never about the other person, even though it seems like it is. Let's see here. Who did I not pick on yet? Michael, did I pick? I picked on Michael Biggs already. Michael Renzulli. Can you speak, or do you want to just type it in the chat?
I can call in, right?
What's that?
The next one, I'll call it in.
Okay. Seaton, talk to me.
Sorry. Okay. I said, why do I deserve $17 million?
Nice. Be more specific on that amount.
Yeah. He said, should I be more specific? I don't know. One time I Googled, I thought it was a sign. One time I Googled my net worth, and it's some website says 17 million. So I just felt that might have been a gold post. It was a hopeful website for me as opposed to just.
That's inspirational, brother. Go for it.
Inspirational, exactly. So why do I deserve $17 million? Because I'm talented and capable, and I'm open to it.
Excellent. You're open to it. I like that. When those words came up from your unconscious, how did that feel?
When I said I'm open to it, that's really kind of like is what I've learned in time. Because I can remember a bunch of times in life where I've rejected obvious gifts, and then later in life I was like, oh, they were offering, I couldn't see it. So
that was a bit of a revelation for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that's been killing me for a while now, and I'm like, what has been making me stop seeing that? And then in the last 3 days, I've kind of explained it to me, like, oh yeah, this is why I haven't seen it. It's because I forced myself not to see it. I was committed to one path.
There you go. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you called somebody else? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Something else you wanted to add?
No, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah. See, Silka.
Okay, so for me it was, why do I deserve to have a hugely successful online business? And then there was all kinds of stuff that came up. So first one, because I worked my butt off to get there.
Always a good reason?
That's the best. Because I meant to do it. Because I deserve to be successful and well paid, because my path has led me here, because I've done this before in previous lifetimes where I've been the leader and priestess and yada yada, because all the people who join my classes will be transformed, and because it's fulfilling for me, and because I'm on my golden path when I do it. So
nice. And how did that feel?
Great. You know, it's inevitable. It's meant to be. So
it is
hey.
inevitable. So. Very nice. Lady Linda of Cummings.
Hello.
Hello.
My question was, why do I deserve to be rich and happy?
Uh-huh.
And the universe told me, because now you know, after attending these 3 days, how to work smarter, not harder.
Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. And when those words came up, how did that feel?
good, because that's what I whine about all the time. I don't want to have to work 2 jobs to, just exist. I want to work one job that I love, and I want to be successful.
Perfect. Perfect. Let's go with Ahmed. Did we get yours yet?
No, not yet.
Go ahead and read me what you got.
I wrote down, what will I do to attract romantic love in my life?
And what happened?
My unconscious mind automatically responded, man up, use my degree to get that job, that internship, tell people how you feel regardless of any anxiety that you have, and have fun with the process and trust the outcome and let it unfold.
Excellent. And how did that make you feel?
Made me feel a lot more open. I noticed I was suppressing a bunch of my feelings and just letting my feelings be bottled up instead of actually, releasing the genie out of the bottle. So now I feel I'm releasing the genie out of the bottle.
Excellent. Well done.
Yeah.
Mr. Chat, talk to me.
It was interesting because some of my stuff I thought was so simple in the answers, and like Debbie or Holly that had these great answers. I was just going, wow, okay, can it be that simple? First one that came to mind is, why do I deserve the woman of my dreams? And the first part of that was, I'm a child of God, and it was real relaxing and soothing. And then it was like, well, why about that? And it was, well, God is love. And then the second one is, why do I deserve a Cybertruck?
A Cybertruck? Yeah. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds cool as fuck.
It's a Tesla.
Okay.
Their new truck. And if you don't know what it is, you have to see it. It's wild. And what came to mind is because I would use it and enjoy it.
Perfect. Remember, whether the answers are long and verbose or simple, they're yours. And that's all that matters.
Okay.
Someone was saying something?
I have a comment, maybe a question, David. So when we first think about affirmations, you think about, this is something that I want. I'm going to keep repeating it to myself to express it or manifest in my life. The more I'm looking at this is how you're talking about doing in affirmations. Yes, that's one part of it, but I'm also seeing on a deeper level, it's more of a questioning to your subconscious, to your inner self, and that you can use this probably for anything to get an answer about things, not only things you want, but also things that might be affecting you.
Yep.
To get to a core answer. And so it's much broader than just using it as a manifestation tool.
Absolutely. But we got to start with practical applications first before we go into those other applications. As so many of the things we teach at Planet David, there's levels. Right? And you're not going to be ready for the deeper stuff until you satisfy your more primal needs. And that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so well done, Michael. Good. Mr. Ryan.
This is Ross.
Oh, Ross, yes.
And as you can see, the screen says Elizabeth and no picture of me. This exercise was really quite profound. I've hated affirmations my entire career, thinking they're just silly and didn't work.
I agree.
So I created this one. Why am I so successful at recreating the workplace? And then I recognized I spent 52 years paying attention, learning the skill sets to make that happen. I didn't know that. And then I said, what's important about that? And I said, it's big enough. This is really a wonderful exercise.
Thank you. But you did the work. You had the answers all along.
I didn't know I had the answers.
You just had to ask the right question. Remember, the human nervous system, second only to the universe, is the world's most powerful question-answering manifestation mechanism that exists. But you only get...
I have an appreciation as to how long I've been looking for that answer. The elusive obvious is right in front of my face.
At the risk of taking more time than maybe we have, there's an old story, and I don't know if it's mythology, and I don't know if it was just something somebody came up with, but I heard it, and it stuck with me so profoundly that I'm going to share it with you. Many, many moons ago, many, many centuries ago, the Greek gods were looking down on mankind, And they noticed how powerful that people were. And the gods argued among themselves. And they said, we need to hide this power from mankind. We need to make sure that they never tap in to this power of the power of the gods. And they argued for weeks and months about where to hide it. And one god said, well, let's hide it on top of the highest mountain. They'll never reach it there. No, they're too enterprising. They're too relentless. They'll find it there. Well, Neptune said, let's hide it at the bottom of the ocean. Or Poseidon, rather. And he said, no, they'll eventually find it there. They'll figure out how to get to it. And of course, Hades said, well, let's hide it in the bowels of the earth. No, man will find it. And I forget which god it was. Maybe it was Athena. Maybe it was Mercury. He said, I know where to hide it. We'll hide it inside of them. They'll never think to look there. Just an idea. Just a thought.
Meditate.
Or just ask the right questions.
Question.
Okay, let's see. Who have I not picked on? David Chan, talk to me.
Yeah, so I asked, how am I enjoying my larger home?
Ooh.
And it feels good. I'm enjoying it. And naturally start thinking of what I can use those extra rooms for. So start naturally visualizing.
Perfect. Do you think this exercise might be useful for your image cycling lists?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just an idea. Remember, manifesting is actually, once you get past the clearing side of it, it's all about pleasure. Higher vibrations, right? Good vibration. Sorry, I had a moment. It's gone now. It is California after all. Let me talk to Bruce. Talk to me, Bruce.
Brucey.
Did you do this?
Come, Bruce. Hop up, Bruce.
My question I asked myself was, why do I deserve to have wealth, 8-figure stature? And my response was, because I always get my desires.
Okay.
And I'm humble and grateful.
And how did that feel?
It felt good. It felt real. It felt like it's really going to happen because I really believe it. And ironically, since I've been taking this seminar, some things have been going on, with my business. So I don't know if I can attribute that to what I'm learning or it's just a coincidence.
It's all the same. It's all connected. We just don't always see how. And that's
interesting.
Yeah. Robert, I think I skipped you, so I'll give you double time now. Bob Ryan.
So I asked myself, how will having a PhD in mathematics improve my self-esteem?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer I got was, I'll stop comparing myself to my family in negative ways.
Perfect. And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel like I'm fulfilling a certain aspect of my destiny, really.
You are. And the fact, and here once again is an answer that, once again, that socially programmed conditioning might kick in and cause us to feel a little conflicted about that answer, even though it's the one that's actually driving the bus. There's a lot of people who say getting a PhD just so you can feel better about yourself isn't a good idea, and in regard to how your family thinks of you or whatever, might not be the right reason to get one. Fuck right reasons.
My family thinks of me in ways that have nothing to do with that and inflicts none of that on me. It's inside of me that compares myself to them.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware that maybe your family doesn't feel that way. But your answer to the question and the way it was structured was a great teaching example for other people who may pass judgment on their actual reasons for doing things and feel the need to sublimate it. Like, using Sherry's example. She wants to help herself. but she can't say that without feeling bad. Because she's afraid of being, it's not that she can say that, it's not that she feels bad about being that way. She feels bad about being judged for being that way. And this is the thing that will keep you from your golden path more than anything else, is that fear of being judged for following your heart, for being true to the whys behind what you're really doing. And we need to get past that if we want to step into, as my teacher Lillian likes to say, stand in the light of our truth. You have your own reasons for doing what you want, and your reasons are always the right reasons. Not your mom's reasons, not your husband's reasons, or your wife's reasons, or your church's reasons, or your government's reasons, or whatever. Your reasons are the only reasons that matter at the end of the day. Because when you follow them, you're moving towards your Ming, you're moving towards your destiny and your golden path. And it's a journey that we don't really have an end to, but there are levels like a video game. And nothing is wasted and everything's important. Mr. Steyer, talk to me.
Yes, I love this stuff. I got a lot of them. I got one of them was kind of a dream, and I put it out there. Why do I deserve to travel by private jet? My answer was because I do, and I love to travel. It makes it feel possible for me. Before it was just kind of like, oh, it'd be nice to do, and I'd like to do that, and I see other people doing it. But now it's like, yeah, I can do that. So that's what I got out of it.
Boom. There you go. Now you're far more likely to get it.
Yeah.
You're far more likely to get it. Excellent. Is there another Robert that I missed? Rob, did we get you? Rob with the weird spangly background. Okay, we got you. I think. No, we got KJ. Are you with us? KJ once. KJ twice. KJ 3 times. Florence, you're up. Florence once. Florence twice.
I'm just not feeling well. This is why I was not manifesting anything.
You're not feeling well, that's why you weren't manifesting anything?
No, I mean, at this present moment, I thought you said that you should not make manifestations when you are unwell. I have a stomach ache.
Did you didn't do the exercise is what you're saying?
But it was yesterday. I wrote things I want to manifest, but right now I have a stomach ache.
Okay, but did you do this exercise?
You mean yesterday?
No, today.
But I was not doing today because I'm not feeling well. You said you should do it only if you feel great.
The image cycling exercise, yes.
Okay.
But we're doing the information exercise. So, did you write any questions down like I asked, or were you just listening?
I was just
okay. If you don't feel well, it's fine. I just need to know one way or the other.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Catherine or Kat?
Yes. Mine's quite simple, but I feel like it comes before everything else. What am I doing to create more energy in my life? And my answer, simply enough, was baby steps, because I need to be more patient with myself.
Absolutely. Most of us do. Most of us are far too impatient with ourselves. In fact, we're going to talk about that when we get into the 5 or 6 characteristics of naturally lucky people. We're going to talk about that in speed, and we're going to look at ways to change it. Okay, excellent.
Great.
And when you said that, and when you said those things to yourself, what happened inside?
I felt more relaxed, a little less stressed.
When we finally acknowledge our truth instead of trying to sublimate it or make it politically correct or acceptable, man, we lose a lot of that stress.
Yeah.
We lose a lot of that tension. And there's no way for me to explain it to you or to translate it to you except to have you experience it. You start to become really comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
And that's a big deal. Because all the agencies external to us are trying to keep us from that feeling for their own agendas.
Mm-hmm.
They all think they have our best interests at heart because obviously our best interests are what serves them. Right? Not so much. Right? And this is the kind of thinking that those agencies fear. People who know what's right for them and follow that truth no matter where it leads them. Let me go ahead and move on. How about Kent? Are you with us, brother?
Thank you.
Kent once. Kent twice.
Damn.
There we go. No. Kent 3 times. All right. Did I miss anyone? Oh, Tara, I thought I got you, but okay. Go ahead and talk to us.
Okay. So, mine sounds a bit selfish, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Oh, okay. All right. Why do I deserve to have better health or be in better health and have better vitality?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll have more energy. Okay. I'll be able to do the things that I want to do. Well, I did before I gained weight. I'll go back to my 60 kg weight. I'll be even more beautiful. What's important about that? Because being beautiful makes life easier and get through life with much more ease.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong. But honestly, I have to disagree with you about one thing. I don't really think you could be any more beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
That's me.
Thank you. Also, I had one more question. Yes, on the first day, you said when you're putting affirmation and when you're trying to manifest, you need to be in high vibration. I understood it, but I feel like I need to have a little bit more substance around that. That makes sense.
You need to feel good when you do it, when you do your manifestation work. You need to focus on all the things that bring joy and happiness into your life, like this exercise did. How did you feel when you said those things to yourself?
So initially I felt good, and then I felt, oh gosh, am I being selfish?
So you started judging yourself.
Yeah. So, but then I still just do it anyway.
Yep. And that's that voice that judges what comes up. That's the voice that was conditioned into you by society and culture. That's the enemy. What comes up first is you and the truth, your truth.
Okay.
And it's okay. That's the only truth that matters.
Okay.
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 All right. I'm going to do this. She wasn't expecting this. Stephanie! I'm going to pick on you now.
You can't pick on me right now because I'm doing other work.
Oh, fine.
It's for you.
Okay, then go ahead. All right. Did I miss anyone?
Me.
Oh, God. Go ahead, Seth.
It's an easy one. How
Okay.
soon can I move into a large enough house?
I think a better one would be, how soon can I move out of Minnesota? And what was your answer?
Next year.
Next year? Very cool. And how did you feel when you said that?
Cool. Finally means the stock market's going to cooperate with me.
You go, boy. All right. So, seems like such a simple thing. And yet, some of the most powerful things in our world are the simplest. That being said, it is 12:56. You get 35 minutes for lunch because we got a lot to do in a very short time. Now, it doesn't matter how much you have in terms of the scope of everything I could teach you. What's important is what you do with what you have. Each and every piece I gave you in this whole 2.5-day journey has been radioactive and nuclear in what it can do. Your job is to cherry pick the ones you really, really like and apply them to make your life what you want it to be. because there's always more you can learn. There's always another level to go to. But at the end of the day, if you just acquire stuff and never do anything with it, you might as well not know it. Knowledge unused is useless knowledge. Okay? Make the second payment. You understand? You paid the money to get into this class, to get access to the information. Now make the second one, the one that gives you ownership. With that being said, have a great lunch. We'll see you at 1:30. Hasta la vista, baby.
David, I have a question.
No. Yes, what?
It's gonna be good. Okay. So, and I'm not going there. So when you're, you know how you said focus on the what and not the how?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, say I was thinking I want to manifest that I want to go to David's training. And in this case,
A worthy aspiration. Speak to Stephanie. She'll tell you the how.
no, I know that. So what happens?
I know that too.
So what happens if I only want specific ones? Do I have to be really specific about that? And do I need to like put in all these effort to like, this is why I'm taking this? Because to me is that, like you said, it's simple, and I'm running in that this is what I need to. I want to take your trainings, and I'm not specific in which one. I just know that in my gut, I know which one it is once I see it,
Mm-hmm.
read it, and I'm like, and that resonates with me.
You're a very gut-driven person, so follow your gut.
All right, and then I have my follow-up question,
Mm-hmm.
with something that you mentioned, and I know that this is going to be important once we start manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
You said focus on your primal needs. If you can go a little bit more on that, and then you said something about cultivating your root chakra. So how exactly do you cultivate that and make sure that it's,
Mm-hmm.
well,
I'll put that on the list, and if we can get to that in this training, we will. Otherwise, we'll cover it in the next vibe class.
okay.
Because we got like 19 different things I'm going to cover, so we'll probably get to maybe 3 or 4 of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, eat your lunch. We'll see you at 1:30.